So beside me, I have a beautiful package from TSO. And if you don't know who TSO is, they manufacture a lot of cool custom parts for trucks. Now, this is one of the things that I've had my eye on for quite a while now. And with this entire rebuild that we've been doing on the 6.0, I'm like, why not reach out to one of the best companies out there that's been around for a long time and slap some of their products on our trucks. So we're gonna show you these frame overlays. These things are freaking sick. I've seen them in person at shows, and honestly, it's been a long time coming. I'm excited to open this box and show you guys what it contains. Obviously, we already know what it contains, but it's gonna be pretty cool to see and slap on the 6.0. Oh yeah, that's gonna be sick. Okay, here's one piece. Fronts here, hardware. Oh, okay, that's cool. They got it labeled and everything. This is the rear, and these are the fronts. Super cool. That actually helps a lot. Something very small like that does wonders. Obviously, you know, we had to get some stickers. Shout out to TSO. Obviously, if you guys are looking at getting some overlays and everything, I'm going to have tagged down below in the description. It's going to have a link and everything, so just click on it, go over there, and you can make these custom. So you can choose your colors, the overlays, and the backplate colors, so you can customize it to your vehicle. Dude, these look sick. Oh my gosh. Dude. That looks sick. Sheesh. So we got the silver to match, obviously, the silver look that we have on the 6.0, and then a red backplate. So there's one piece of it. Now we'll apart, and once we get it laid out, I'm going to show you the rest of it. So, great packaging, by the way. It took me a while to get it undone, but it's because it was packaged extremely well. So props to you guys. I like the fact that these things are already put together, but this thing looks freaking sick. I love it. I didn't realize how big this thing actually is. Like, I don't know. It's like 4 foot. It's like about 4 feet or somewhere around there. I don't know. It's pretty big, so super cool. I wasn't really sure, like, videos don't do it justice, so it's difficult to actually show the perspective and the actual size. But this is going to cover a hell of a lot of the frame, which is good, and that's what we're buying them for. But before we hop into the frame overlays, let's go over what you'll need to do all of this. So it's pretty simple. You are going to need a tap and die set and a metal drill bit. I would recommend using these. These are the spider bits. They're for metal and everything. Things are freaking sick. Gonna save you a lot of time. But I got the first one on. This was just a test fit, and I wanted to see how it would work. I didn't want to tell you guys how to do it if I hadn't done it myself. So we went ahead and put that first one on, but let me show you what we're gonna do for the front. Now, these, you're gonna need to drill a hole through your frame. It is not super hard. It is gonna take you about a minute per hole, maybe. Don't forget that it is not like wood. It's not the faster that you drill, the faster it gets through it. That's just going to burn up your bit extremely fast. Slow and hard. So slow and hard, pushing it down, lubricate it, some WD-40, whatever you got on you, just make sure that thing's lubricated. I would go ahead and buy yourself probably like 2 bits or so. I just bought 3 because I have really bad luck with burning stuff up or something breaking. So 1 bit should do it, but to be safe 2, and if you have really bad luck like me, buy yourself 3 bits. What I did is I set my frame overlay up, I marked out the holes, drilled them through, and then I'm using my Harbor Freight tap and die set to thread the holes that we just punched through on the 6.0. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's time consuming, but it is not extremely difficult. So what I'm first gonna do is kind of set this up here. Whoops, it'd probably be better if I actually put it the right way. I slide this bad boy in here, and that's gonna give us the idea of what we're looking for. So then I'm gonna go in with my marker, or whatever I got on hand. Markers kind of suck. They don't really fit in there, so I just grab my drill bit or something sharp, kind of scratch the paint on where my holes and everything go. So now that I've got my holes lined out, I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse this. We're gonna drill, tap, and put the frame overlay in. Now we're gonna continue on our last hole, tap it, and thread the plates in. So it's pretty simple as that. It's not really crazy. It's just kind of time consuming, as a lot of things normally are. Now, if you have somebody to help you, I would highly recommend that, but we're gonna go ahead and knock this out. I'm gonna show you what it looks like after that, and then we're gonna hop on to the back. Guys, this looks freaking awesome. Oh my gosh, okay, so we're gonna show the other side before installation and the other side after. So here, we're on this side. Oh, hey, that's kind of a clean frame. Not bad for an 06 F250. It's dirty right now, bear with me. Now we're going to the other side. Yeah, that guy's frame is actually not too bad. Check out this, guys. Is that a 𝐂𝐎𝐓 truck? Golly, that looks so good. Oh my Lord, that guy's got $100,000 in that truck. Bet it never goes munn though. Oh, dude, that looks freaking insane. Insane. It's a poor man's frame off. And I can live with that. Dude, I just love it. It's just immaculate. Like, the cool thing about it is, like, those patterns there actually kind of match my previous patterns that I have on these traction bars that I had built for me like 3 years ago. So, like, they actually work out pretty well. But guys, I'm just telling you now, like, it is so worth the money. So obviously we are in another location, whole new setup and everything, but the reason we did that is obviously it started raining on us. The weather conditions were not fit for this install. But these babies are nice and stout. There's literally no give in that. Same thing, no give in this thing whatsoever. So those things are nice and secure. So we're gonna go ahead and move over here to the back, and we're gonna have to remove these overload leaf spring plate dealies. This one's gonna be the hardest because I think we're gonna have to grind those off. Gonna take a chisel to it and see how that works. So surprisingly, these things are actually coming out pretty easily. We got 2 of the 4 out. And just like that, she came out. Now remember, whenever you're using an impact, make sure to use chrome sockets. You don't want to use the black ones. Those are not meant to be put on impacts. So yeah, make sure that all your sockets are chrome. In one simple, easy step, we were able to remove 2 of those. So I'm gonna grab a punch and see if it punches it out the other side. Whoa. So, out of this entire thing, this is the only thing that is a little bit difficult. So, as we were talking, that thing's a freaking son of a gun to get off. So, what we did is grabbed our metal bit that we use for drilling out the frame for the front overlays, tapped a hole through the rivet once we grinded the head off, and then we went through with a bigger bit, drilled a hole through it, and that was able to get that bad boy out of there. So currently, I'm over here beating it off the frame. Let's look at this bad boy here. These are not fun. I do not recommend doing these in your pastime. Actually, yeah, do this in your pastime so you're not crunching like me, trying to get it done right before a big show. But we got this bad boy off. We're gonna clean up the frame because, not gonna lie, it's pretty ugly behind that. Gonna paint it before we go ahead and put our overlay on, but there's this one. And here's how they should have made them, where you can just remove them with the nut and bolt and take it off in 15 seconds. But this only took an hour and a half versus 15 seconds. So that's amazing. So one thing that I forgot to show you guys, a good little tip, if you don't have a punch or something like that, this is gonna be very handy, so I'd recommend you get one. So on these holes they have to drill out for the frame, I thought initially, obviously you gotta start this little guy for the 1/2 inch to go through. I thought you were gonna have to punch all the way through the frame to get that out. But that's not really the case. So what I ended up doing is on the frame, I went in about 1/4, maybe a little bit past to almost half. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna loosen that rivet from the frame, and then it just pops it out the other side. So I'm gonna show you real quick on this. Just a quick little tip for those of you that are doing this, since there are no videos out there. I am learning this just as you guys are going, so I know this video is going to be kind of jumping around a bit, but bear with me. I'm trying to throw in as many tips and tricks that I can figure out to help you guys in the future. And hopefully maybe this kind of rolls over to anyone with any Dodge, Chevys, or anything like that. This one right here is one that we just punched through. Here's a hole that I tapped through with my little bit. I'm going to go with my big one. So then we're gonna go with our punch right here. And it just pops it right out. And this is what it's gonna look like. So you can see how much time we saved. I only drilled about halfway through it and then punched it out. But this is what's very time consuming on these, but back to other George, this was filmed after the fact I found this tip out. One last thing that I forgot that we got to remove is this little guy right here, the exhaust bracket. We got the frame cleaned up where the previous brackets had sat. This is the last thing right here that is going to have to come off, and then I think we're basically done here. We're just going to go through, clean this all up and finish sanding it down, and we'll be good to go. So now that we've let the paint dry, we are ready to install. I just use a rust protectant sealer paint deal on the frame just so when I put this over it, it's more protected. So remember whenever we drilled out these holes with our 1/2-inch bit? Well, those holes that we tapped out are what we are gonna be using for mounting our overlays onto. So we'll use those 4 existing holes for the bracket we removed in the front and the 4 existing holes in the rear. But that looks like that's what they used and what we're going to be using for mounting the overlay. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. Don't mind the wire that is from our rock lights. It is temporarily pulled out. So all it's going to do is just line up there. You're going to see your bolt holes, and it's going to be as simple as that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these in loosely, step back and take a look at our final progress, because this has taken some time just because we painted it, had to let it sit for a day, did the fronts, had to wait on the back, so it took us like 2 different days to get this whole video done and everything. And on top of that, we're working on other things in here. But so with that, we finally have these bad boys installed. Please bear with us and be patient with us while doing this. It's also our first time, just like it is yours. So we're kind of trying to make a how-to video, give you guys options and different ways of doing things. The only video that I really found for reference that was for a Ford was TSOs for the 17 F250s. And so it was kind of hard to guesstimate and figure out what I was going to do on the 6.0 versus what he was doing on the 6.7 that were relatively the same. And I was really scared on cutting off those brackets because I'm like, I don't think these are supposed to come off, this and that. And if you guys have any questions, we'll try and answer as many of them as we can down below. Now, if you guys have installed the set before in the past and you're watching this video and you got any tips for people that are watching this, make sure to drop some comments down below. And thank you guys for watching the video. And for those of you guys that haven't already, make sure you subscribe, because we are doing all this because we're going to be doing a huge reveal on this truck for a big truck show coming up for Mother of Mayhem. So with that, stay tuned and be subscribed, because we're going to do a huge reveal video, show everything that we've been working on this truck for the past few months, on and off. And all of this stuff will be linked down below in the description. And for anyone that just wants to see what the frame plates look like on the actual frame, I'm just going to do a little picture and I'm going to post it at the very end of this video so that you guys can see what it looks like on there, because I was trying to find something visual to go off of my first time installing these. So hopefully that kind of helps you guys. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next ones. And here's those clips I was talking about. So this is just for reference for anybody that's just trying to get an idea on how these things are going to mount up to your frame. So hopefully that helps. Thanks for watching.